these are strange times and discouraging times, but when I think about it, I also remember St. Catherine of Siena, who said, all the way to heaven is heaven. So, I keep that in mind. Now, in the time of bimbo feminism and the lately rediscovered trad wife, it might be comforting to remember the golden age of free sex, and useful to know that the knight on the white horse is also a misogynistic trope. This is Briar Rose. It happened more than once in that time, between birth control pills and AIDS. It happened over and over, although it's a struggle to remember any of them, those exquisite boys with their hands in the briars, the young ones with knives, the serious ones in ties, the princes in Levi's, all of them bringing their several and various gifts of flesh and beauty from their castle to yours. The frightened ones carrying laugh under their tongues like a lead penny. The empty ones come to fill you up with lies. The witchy ones, they're wooing like the 13th fairy's curse. All of them crowding the hedge around your heart with their shears, their crazy desire. And you, cursed to stay a while with them while you waited for something you had been promised was love. And this is a little nod to my children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. January 2025. I welcome winter. Stripped branches, last year's nests clinging to the sky, the possibility of uninterrupted vista. But this year, Sam tells me the generations have turned against us since we have eaten up the bounty they expected. I look around. Perhaps it is so, but I find some glory in final fruits. A patch of ice, a snow-bent azalea, one intrepid persimmon forgetting to fall. I want to say I was wrong, but my world was the present, then and now. The ice was always slipping. I'm sure all of you know this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. The Pax Romana was a period of relative peace and stability across the Roman Empire, which lasted for over 200 years. Sound familiar? This is a sonnet in rhyming couplets. This is dogs. These will be our last dogs, we say. They will endure after us in the final days of the Republic. We remind one another of the Pax Romana of prior governments when hope and a mean balance remained. This morning, too many of us have given in. We used to be like the dogs, longing for some novel thing to eat, expecting exotic scraps. Then science died, then facts, and we had to be satisfied swallowing the rotten meat left over from 1776 that lay under the trestles where the drunken Roman poets we once cherished were sleeping freedom off. Okay. I don't go outside very much. I love it. You know, we have 67 wooded acres. It's really, really nice, and sometimes I go on the porch. But I'm writing echo poetry now because it seems like it's a necessary thing to do. We live in Carroll County. This is Carroll Electric. And it has an epigraph from Donald Ravel. Although the nation is done for, I find new flowers. 1. My husband tells me fireflies are dying out on the hill. He asks, do you remember how they lit up the woods? Yes, I answer, but I haven't noticed the new dark in the trees. I'm too caught up with bomb-blown curtains, other folks' certainty. In the darkness, the one ignition, in the dogwood, a long pause, another. Now you see them, now you don't. 2. I settled back to read To Kill a Mockingbird again before the library is forced to lose it. Outside, the birds mock our attempts to silence them. 3. After the Carroll Electric comes by with its prehistoric-looking cutter and lops the big trees back, I pretend nothing has changed. That I love the scraggle of cut branch trees clinging to the verges. It was that of poisoning the hillside, I said. What could I have done? 4. Oh Lord, keep me from describing this year's bluets and field iris blooming, making them my excuse for standing by. Okay, if you're looking for an excuse for our national mess, this could say something about that. This is ice cream. Think about your buddies. Think about your country. Think about your outrage. How it comes around disguised as a neighborhood ice cream truck, gleaming and playing that tinkling song which once was bells, but now is computerized noise you barely recognize. Think how you stand at the curb, your shoulders a little tight, brushing away a tear, leaning forward. Think how your mouth begins to water because you're hungry for justification, and maybe it's on that truck. Okay. Jedburgh justice is vigilante justice. Paul explains it, but I'm saying it again. Jedburgh justice. We are on our way to vigilante justice, partnered by a tipsy redhead, her eyes tight shut, as if she were about to cry or sing, and a lean man who hopes to find Gaza out his back door. We are accompanied by a nun praying for mercy or certainty, while the rest of us attempt to conjure a gentler nature from minds wasted by stochastic terror. On this journey, we will eventually be charged, guilty or not, with this year's felonies, optimistic greed, and its sidekick, inertia. This poem I wrote because I found this quote by Thomas Jefferson, and it seems so right for the times we live in. This is, a little patience and we shall see the reign of witches pass over. Thomas Jefferson told us we must forbear and tolerate their small undoings. Larceny and cruelty are small undoings. Therefore, we must be deaf to their clamor and travesty. We must abstain from returning their half-glance, which should ricochet off our faces like a quarter off a well-made bed. We must be stone carvings resembling the ones at the Palais in Vienna, leaning, arm around a shoulder, arm around a waist, balancing prop and lentil. On their heads, caryatids, standing as one under tons of masonry, bearing up the roof, waiting for the necromancer's sway to end, comforting each other until then. Okay, this is your assignment. Sorry, but this is it. All of you who are young enough to do this. You must go scrub the Leviathan. Wash the encrusted white shirt of it. Clean out the earwax that has made it deaf. Be brown-eyed and briefcased. Be ready to roll up your sleeves. You've had a belly full of swindle. Be dedicated to the proposition that you must take out your earbuds and come alive. Relearn lessons you abandoned, caught as you were between negotiating and forgetting, plunged out of tragic 2020 when the distance between what was happening and the routine lie was immense. Go into the dirty streets, carrying your supplies. Ignore the menacing guys outside the building where men you haven't met yet take exception. Be resolute as a desk. Toss them a smile and begin to disinfect. And now, because this is me, and times are tough, this is after a great loss. After great loss, I have become the mistress of the unlit, black-dressed formal, sad as a two-car funeral. What shall I do in this sorrowful dark but dance and dance and dance in my hallelujah shoes?